Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, doing episode number 5 of I Build Your Teams, the series where I build my viewers' teams with the best teams possible for my team in limited and or competitive play, based on how much MT they have and what their squad is currently looking like. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 14,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, and I would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. Starting off with this first today comes in from new My Team Nerd. He says he is new to My Team. Kyrie is his favorite card, and he's got himself a pretty good budget team right here. Kyrie, Roko, Raja Bell, Giannis, AD. Nice budget cards off the bench as well. Not a bad team, but I will say number one big upgrade would be Dwayne Wade. You can have D Wade and Kyrie, and then also getting D Wade will also give you Dominique Wilkins. It takes about it's going to cost you about 50,000, 60,000 MT. Well, once you finish the grind, probably about 50,000 MT. But you're going to get D Wade and Dominique, who are going to be huge additions to your team. Then you're still going to be looking at about 250,000 MT. You could start Kyrie and Dominique, bring D Wade and Raja off the bench, or vice versa, whatever you want to do. Start D Wade and Dominique, bring Kyrie and Raja off the bench. However you want to do it, but you can definitely do that. I think that'll help out the squad. Your small forward position is fine. I really wouldn't touch that for right now with the no money spent. And then Giannis and AD, I think definitely still have spots. I would say your backup power forward, backup center probably could use upgrades. Honestly, the biggest upgrade that I can think of is Serge Ibaka at the center position. Power forward position is a little bit tougher to upgrade at. A guy like Boris Diaw is honestly a cheap upgrade who would be a nice option if you're looking for somebody like that in a mid-tier price point who I think could play the power forward position. Otherwise, I mean, obviously, if you think you're good enough and you have the ability to grind for Chris Bosh, I'm sure that would be a nice one to add as well. But I do think right now, maybe Sean Kemp is worth potentially targeting for locking in or something. But right now, your biggest thing is completing the D-Wade grind and picking up Serge Ibaka. You do those two things, this team is looking really solid. Next squad today comes in from 1003. He's got 150,000 MT, no money spent with the Pro Pass. He's got CP, Derrick Rose, Clyde Drexler, Mitch Richmond, Roko, Jordan Walsh, and then Giannis, Draymond, Serge Ibaka, and Theo Ratliff. I'm looking at this team, and I'm looking and seeing, it looks like, is that D-Rose, is he unsellable? Yeah, no, okay, so that is an unsellable D-Rose. It's kind of hard to tell. The screenshot's a little blurry, but I think that, so he's definitely unsellable. So all your cards are unsellable. Your Richmond's unsellable. D-Rose, unsellable. That's a pretty lucky pull, but Ibaka at center is great. Your 3 through 5 in your starting lineup. Honestly, your 2 through 5 in your starting lineup is fine. I would get Dwayne Wade. You gotta get Dwayne Wade. And that also gives you Dominique, who's also an upgrade. And then you have D-Wade, Dominique, D-Rose, and Clyde. And that's like a significant upgrade in your backcourt. Your 3s are fine. Your 4s are fine. Ibaka at the 5 is very good. Honestly, if you do that, you could either lock in for Sean Kemp and move Giannis to the 5 and just have Kemp and Ibaka and then have Draymond and Giannis off the bench, which is probably what I would do because you already have an unsellable Richmond, so locking in for Sean Kemp is not going to cost very much. Otherwise, you could buy Anthony Davis, then you can sell him back. You wouldn't have locked in the MT, but it's also going to cost you more MT and you're going to have less. So regardless, grind out the Dwayne Wade grind and then get him and Dominique. And then at that point, you can consider what you want to do, whether it's locking in for Kemp or getting AD. For me, I might go Kemp. I don't know. Next squad comes in from Mombi. He's looking for suggestions and he's got himself a pretty good squad. Although this team does look like a squad that basically you stopped updating like 3 weeks ago. Kyrie, Shaq, T-Mac, Scottie Pippen. Bench is Dame, Booker, it's Grant Hill, Dirk, Draymond, and Ben Wallace. And then the last 3 are not great. You need a new power forward, a new center, and a new point guard. The rest of your team is great. Dwayne Wade is the point guard, and then you can have D-Wade and Booker and Kyrie and T-Mac as your point guard duos. Scottie Pippen and Grant Hill at the 3 is fine. At the 4, I would go get, well, it depends. There's not really an auctionable 4 who I think is a great option for at a great value because at the 5, I think you got to get Anthony Davis as your backup 5. Unless you wanted to go AD starting 4 and Hakeem backup 5, or even AD starting 4 and leave Ben Wallace backup 5. If you're comfortable with Ben Wallace as your backup 5, I actually don't hate that. And then you could have Dirk last 3 as a stretch big if you needed it. But I would say Anthony Davis is a must-have. You could pick him up and play him with the 4, and then you do that combined with the D-Wade grind to add another point guard who's better than Damian Lillard, and I think that improves the squad. Next squad comes in from my boy Ben Sauce. Looks like he just started playing my team a bit over this past week or so with this type of squad. He's got D-Wade grind done. He's got Dominique. He's got Kyrie and Ja Morant. He's got unsellable Ja out of the Dunktober pack from last week. That's unlucky. I got Cat, which I feel pretty lucky about. So he's got a bajillion point guards. I will say right now, I actually don't think this is a bad idea. Ja and Wade, I would probably go Kyrie and Wade and then bring Ja off the bench personally. But I think right now, Wade at the 2 is actually probably the best bet for you with the way your squad is looking like right now. I would move Dominique to the backup 2, and then Artest and a guy like Robert Covington would be my 3s if I were you. I'd probably start Rocco, bring Artest off the bench. Your 4s, well, I think your 5s should be Sigma, K-Love, and JaVale McGee right now. I wouldn't play K-Love at the 4. I think K-Love is better than Sigma, I will say. So I'd go K-Love starting at center, probably JaVale off the bench and Sigma last 3, or maybe Sigma off the bench and JaVale last 3. You need 2 power forwards, though. Zach Randolph is simply not going to cut it. I don't know who those power forwards should be. In terms of, like, budget options that are going to fill the hole today, I think maybe since you don't have Jordan Walsh, I just pick him up, play him at power forward because he's got an 80 interior. Darvin Ham as well as a card that I would consider picking up to fill a spot, or LaFonso Ellis, somebody like that, to fill those power forward spots today, because I think those are still going to be upgrades over running a guy like K-Love at center or a Zach Randolph at power forward. And then you got to save some MT. Obviously, a Boris Diaw would be a potential target. Unfortunately, it looks like you did miss out on Draymond Green. He would have been a nice one to add. Could still go grind Jabari Smith if you wanted to. And then obviously, hopefully, we'll start to get some more affordable power forward options as the next season comes upon us, so that will be nice as well. But second to last squad today comes in from B. He's got 130,000 MT. Says he's thinking about getting Dr. J or AD. He's got Curry, Kyrie, D-Book, and Clyde Drexler, Scottie Pippen, Rocco, Draymond, Jabari, Bosch, and Giannis. When I look at your team, the weakest spot on your team is your bench power forward, probably. I see why you want Dr. J as well, because I don't love Clyde, but honestly, just go grind for Dwayne Wade and get Dominique. I think Dominique is an upgrade over Clyde, and I think he's pretty close to Dr. J, to be honest. AD is definitely the best upgrade for your team. You got yourself a heck of a squad. You got Chris Bosh, which means you're a good player. You have yourself a heck of a team. Anthony Davis is by far the best upgrade for this team. And once you get AD, honestly, I would focus on selling everything in your collection, everything extra. If you, for example, if that Hakeem isn't unsellable, which it doesn't look like he's unsellable, I would sell Hakeem. Like, I would maximize your MT after you buy AT and try to get as much MT as possible saved up for season 2. But yes, I do think Anthony Davis would be a big upgrade for the squad. And then the final team today comes in from my boy Carson. He's got 250,000 MT. Says he thinks this is going to be close to the end of season 1 squad, and he's debating Kawhi. Does have Wade, Roy, Kyrie, Clyde, and Dominique, Scottie Pippen, Kemp, Giannis, AD, and Magic. Magic is the weakest spot on your team. If you were to get Kawhi, I don't know where he fits into this squad. I guess backup small forward, or starting small forward, which means Pippen's your backup small forward. As much as I think Kawhi is an incredible card, I don't think I would do it. You would get Marcus Saul as well, who you could play at backup center, but honestly, a better backup center option is just picking up Serge Ibaka. Play him next to Giannis off the bench. That will work great for you, and honestly, I don't think it's going to be worth locking in Kawhi with the squad that you currently have. I would just save the rest of your MT besides picking up Ibaka for season 2 content, because I'm sure we're going to see some upgraded cards and a bunch of good stuff next week. But that is the last team for today's episode. I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.